So this second presentation is about legislation across the EU institution and a service called EdiT that we put in place to make this process more efficient and transparent across the EU institutions. So let's start with our story, the story behind this project. So it all started, in fact, with the Lisbon Treaty. It's the base of this service. Is that the co-decision process under the Treaty of Lisbon become the ordinary legislative procedure, and all the main areas of action of the EU are now ruled under this procedure. So the three big institutions, the Parliament, the Council, and the European Commission, decide to join forces and to join forces in order to make this legislative process more efficient. Okay, so a bit more about the ordinary legislative procedure process. So there is a legislative proposal that is prepared by the European Commission using the tool, using the service EdiT. So something is going wrong. Let me see if okay, we are stuck with the presentation. Nice. I can't do anything. If I could get some help from the technical team. Oh. Okay, we don't have anything more. Sorry for this. Well, so just without the slides. Okay, so okay, let's see if it works this time. Anyway, so okay, I will pass them like this. So the ordinary legislative procedure is then the process where, in fact, the Commission proposes legislation that is submitted then to the European Parliament and the Council and there is where the trilogue starts, meaning that the Parliament and the Council will propose amendment to the legislative proposal of the European Commission. So, well, I definitely have an issue with this. Well, really sorry about that. Maybe if you can move to the slide after this one. So, yeah, let's see if this can work. Ah, okay. Well, I was already stressed before, but now I'm really good with that. Okay, so in order to make this legislative process, we have been working on EdiT, which is an interoperable solution to make this process easier. So I don't know if there are any people involved in legislation making or drafting in the room. No, we have no one. In fact, nowadays, all the legislation produced by the EU institution are produced using Microsoft Word. And Microsoft Word has a lot of inconvenience. So you have no access policy to a document. Collaboration is really difficult with Microsoft Word. Practically, you have several versions of a legislative proposal that is transferred via email across different services of the EU institution. You have services that are commenting or amending the text using track changes, and you have some people that in the end have to consolidate this document to have one single and final version of the text. So this is a really cumbersome process. You don't have really a traceability when the document is consolidated on who did change what or who did propose a change internally in the different institutions. You have also the local storage inherent to Word. It also explains why there is this need of sending these documents via email, and we also have a vendor locking issue. I will have a slide later on explaining how we overcome this difficulty with EdiT. So now another big issue with Word document is interoperability, because a Word document is really difficult to be interpreted by an IT system because it lacks the semantic element allowing its automatic process of processing by IT system. So in order to solve this issue, we as institution decided to move to an XML-based standard, which is named Accomantoso. It's an XML format specialized to produce legislative documents, legislative and judiciary documents. But this standard is a bit too wide for the need of the Commission. So again, the three institutions joined forces and created the Interinstitutional Formats Committee. And the goal, amongst others, is to really specialize the Accomantoso to have a format which is usable by the different institutions. And this is the format that is used by EdiT. And achieving this interoperability through a common format gives benefits. And for instance, the Council of the European Union decided to use the same service than the European Commission to do the work on the legislative proposal. For the European Parliament, the situation is a bit different because they already had a tool in place. But the fact that we are using the same format and that we are interoperable and working on interoperability allows that legislation produced by the European Commission and amended by the Council are directly readable by the tool of the European Parliament. And also, it will allow us in the future to share code because the technologies are similar between the tool of the Commission and Council and one of the Parliament, so we will be able to share piece of code and reuse. And also, it enables us to collaborate with the Council, and we've now started the co-creation process where we are co-developing the tool using the requirements from the Council. Okay, so an overview about the architecture. So EdiT is a service that is based on open source tool, which is called Leos, and that was developed by the European Commission under the ISA Square program. We use a lot of open source technology. This is really our guideline, is we never reinvent the wheel, and we always look for existing open source solution for our issues. For instance, you have a rich text editor that is based on a JavaScript text editor, which is called CK Editor, which is open source. We also reuse components developed by other services of the Commission, or like Ref2Link, which is developed by the Service Juridique and which allows you to generate links to existing legislation automatically. That is also available open source. We are using Hypothesis, which is an open source implementation for annotation server. It basically allows you to annotate text, and this is how we have implemented the collaborative features of EdiT. We also moved from local storage to central storage based on a standard which is called CMIS. It's a file server repository. And this also is going to be published as open source. So everything we do is given back to the open source community. So we are not only taking products from the open source community, but we are also publishing the results of our work open source. So the main features of EdiT that allowed us to really solve the issues encountered with Word are the following. So first of all is the structure. The tool is really strict with the structure because legislative text needs to have a proper and legally valid structure, and this is enforced by the tool. So the tool guides you through the process with the indentation, with the paragraph, the articles. Everything is checked by the tool for you to facilitate your work. Regarding the collaboration, we have now it's an online tool, so people can really collaborate on the same version. There is no more need of sharing Word document via email, and we have also access rights. So you, as a drafter, can decide who are the people that can contribute to your document. So we also implemented features based on review comments, so you can annotate the text to put a comment or to suggest a change. And another really nice feature about that is that if someone comments on your text, you can directly in the tool post a reply. So it's a kind of live forum where you can react on a comment and you can discuss, or you can react on a suggested change. So we have rich text editor based on CK editor, so you can add mathematic formulas, pictures really easily, but in the annex, not in the core text. We have also a feature that allows you to import already existing legislation from EOLEX. So if you are drafting a new proposal that is similar to something that already exists, you can import several articles from the existing regulation into your drafts using the layers the edit tool. And this will also make the translation work easier at a certain point, because if you are reusing articles, they probably have been already translated. And last but not least, the versioning feature. At any moment, you can see and compare all the different versions of the tool. So you are capable of determining who suggested the change, who did change something, and who made a comment. So, and with this tool, so the goal of this tool is really to replace the use of Word and solve the issues I mentioned before by these features. So I will not do a live demo of the tool, but if you would be interested in seeing how it works, I invite you to visit us. We have a stand downstairs, stand number 10, and you will be able to use the tool and have a hands-on demo of the tool. So, thank you. Any question? Yes?
Which is the relationship between EdiT and Leos? EdiT is the new version of Leos?
Well, in fact, that's a good question. It's always asked. In fact, Leos is the software that we provide open source under the ISA action, which is publicly available for anybody. EdiT is a service, so it's an instance of Leos that runs in the commission premise, in commission data center, but also really soon in the council data center. So this is the difference between the two. One is based on the other, as EdiT is the internal instance of the Leos tool. Yes?
You mentioned one of the disadvantages of Word. I'm sure there are a lot of disadvantages of using Word, but one of the disadvantages was vendor lock-in. But I see that we also use a lot of open source elements within the project. How easy would it be for you, for example, if one of these CK edit or something like that stops being supported anymore by the community? How easy can you switch to another component?
Well, in fact, switching might not even be needed because all the code is available. This is JavaScript based, so we can just take it over and maintain the version of this product that we use and that we customize for our needs. So the fact that we have open source, you always have the possibility to take over the product that you cannot do with Microsoft Word. I answer your question?
If you have the internal expertise and all the resources, yes, then of course,
Yes, but what
so you have to develop that, that's what you're answering, that you will have to develop the...
we will have to maintain it, because in fact the tool that we have and that we selected now already has the features we need. So in
But
case
there might be a security bug or something like that. Somebody has to update it. You cannot
Yes.
leave it there.
but so far the tools that we use are so like CK Editor has been also there for years. So we are also, before including a new tool, checking if the community is active and if there are frequent releases of the tool. But yes, indeed, if it stops, but well, if Microsoft stops supporting Word, we would be in the same. We will have the same issues. Okay. How is EdiT further integrated with other document management system, HAN or legislative IS? Well, in fact, for at the European Commission, the integration with other systems, so EdiT is done with the drafting. We EdiT, we produce the draft, and then we are now in the process of integrating it with DIGITEC, which is the system supporting the decision-making workflow at the European Commission. So starting off next year, it will be possible to run inter-service consultation using a draft produced by EdiT. So we are integrating these two systems, and in fact, the integration with HAN would be done through DIGITEC, where basically the draft will be stored in HAN. And not only the draft, but all the events of the life cycle of this draft would be stored in HAN, in Hermes.